So I logged back into World of Warcraft and bruh. Pimps. I said pimps. Sorry, I've been watching too much Fleek recently. So like fuck World of Warcraft. Ever since they got rid of 10-man raiding, I've not been able to get back into it. And I've been playing the game for a very, very, very long time. I have achievements in this game that most people don't even know exist. I was in a guild called Blood Legion throughout most of Wrath of the Lich King. I got a bunch of realm firsts on the Silver Illidan. I was in a top 10 guild in the United States, and I used to play a lot. I did come back to play Dragonflight, and I liked it. You know, I joined a little guild, did a little bit of mythic raiding, but you know, scheduled raiding and me do not mix anymore. I'm kind of over it. I'm not looking to log in on a certain time, on a certain day, for a certain period of time, lock myself into 4 hours of game time, and just be stuck there. That's just not it for me anymore. I'm either gonna pug or matchmake, or I'm not gonna be into it. So enter what is this, what some people have called a mini raid. It's actually a mega dungeon, and mega dungeons are nothing new, but the fact that they added like little ahead of the curve titles and things to it has intrigued me. So this thing is 8 bosses, and it is only on mythical difficulty right now. And I was pleasantly surprised. These bitches got some mechanics, honey. Look at this motherfucker spinning around and shit. I'm dropping some kind of weird tornado thing. If the healer fucks up a dispel, some massive circle of sand spreads across the ground. This shit is pretty wild. I would definitely expect this from like a raid boss for sure. So I'm like, okay. Let me log in, see what's going on. I'm waiting for Diablo, Season of the Maligma Nuts, so I got some time to kill. Let's see how easy this is. So my item level is absolute ass. I haven't played since the last raid. I did do like a normal, what is it, how do you say this? Albaris, whatever this new raid is. And that's kind of it so far. I think I got like 1 piece of gear from that. So I just applied to a bunch of groups, and because I'm a tank, I'll always get in. So tank privileges, be jealous cunts. So I don't kill the first boss. The boss is putting a debuff on me. That's essentially stealing my healing. It's a healing shield. The healer needs every bit of healing that the healer does to me does not happen to me. So I'm not getting healed for the entire time that this debuff is pretty much on me. Also, some of the other members of the group seem to be getting like one shot by this little hoppity hop he's doing here. So as a tank, you kind of miss out on some of the mechanics of the fight since, you know, crazy shit doesn't usually target the tank unless it's meant for the tank. You know, for obvious reasons. But once the other members of the group die, the boss has no choice but to target me. So I get the little circle thing, and I kind of find out that the circle's on you and it follows you, but then at the last moment it kind of drops off you. So once it drops on the ground, you're supposed to run out of this circle before the boss pile drivers you into oblivion. So I don't think these guys are getting out fast enough, but like I can't talk shit. I'm a demon hunter. I'm basically a rabbit, so like I can jump out of anything. So okay, try 1 is a failure. So I'm gonna join another group here, and this group is on the second boss, which is this tornado fucker. So it takes me a little while going in blind to kind of realize exactly what this boss does. Could I have watched a guide? Of course, but guides are for pussies, and we're going in dry. So I figure this out pretty quick, but not with this group. In World of Warcraft, it's really important to know what's your fault and what's not your fault. So, like, I'm not supposed to get hit with this breath. It actually targets me and follows me, and then like that circle from before, it drops on the ground, and I need to move out of it once it drops. So I figured that out after dying a few times. This large sand AoE circle, there's nothing I could do about that. That is a debuff that's being put on the DPS, and the DPS needs to stand in, I think, the light triangle while they get dispelled. I know this shit is fucking complicated. So if they're not in the light triangle when they get dispelled, it will put this shit on the ground. If they are in the light triangle when it gets dispelled, it does this little like pew, like outer whatever the fuck that is. I think it does a little bit of damage, but it's not that big a deal. That's kind of just how it works. So I don't kill the second boss either. But bro, I am determined to kill something here. Like, what the fuck? Like, I know my item level is shit, so only other shitters are gonna take me. But, you know, I need the king of shitters, okay? I believe we can do this. So I joined this group, and we are back on the second boss. It takes a few tries, but, you know, we're doing pretty good, so I have faith in this one. Now, this brings me to a problem. If I'm gonna do videos like this, I really don't want to talk shit, but, you know, holy ballsack, our druid's damage is ass. Like, respectfully, it's fucking ass. Like, should I blur his name? Do I say nothing? Like, I have to say it. Like, I'm not trying to be toxic. Just objectively, his damage is lower than me, and I have not logged in like, forever. But the dude's nice, and, you know, he's the group leader, so, like, he's lower than the tank druid, okay? He's probably doing his best. And we actually killed the boss. I'm shocked. This evoker has a huge dick. So that's probably why. Just look at him. Look at this fucking boss-ass bitch. So we go to third boss, and I'm having, like, a fever dream at the moment, and I just pull the boss, because, like, obviously the boss always appears after you kill all the trash, but for some reason, my brain just thought another trash mob spawned, because he's kind of small, and I just go in dry. I'm, like, apologizing mid-pull, and we're fucking winging it. I did pretty great, like, for the first attempt, and like no one's looking anything up because we're just a bunch of shitters. Like, I'm getting mind controlled and I don't know why, but like people are surviving it, so that's just fucking hilarious. We do wipe though. I actually try to look up what this boss does now, because I just have like, me getting mind control is kind of a big deal. There's just no way it's working as intended for me to be mind controlled for like 20 seconds. Like that can't be right. So, between the video and our discussion, the boss puts a debuff on. It is that slimy ball that's above your head. And whoever gets it is supposed to bring it to me, the tank, and give it to me, because fuck tanks, am I right? No, they give it to me because I can take the ticking damage that's happening on it. It's putting a damage over time effect on the person. But the debuff expiring is why I'm getting mind controlled. So you cannot let the debuff expire on you, otherwise you get charmed. So the boss does this frontal cone breath, and that is what strips the debuff off of you. That is super easy in phase 1 because he's vomiting all over me, you know, a lot. But in phase 2, he's not doing that so much. So if you're trying to give me the disease, you know, and it expires, that's not good. So we have to bounce the disease back and forth between us. So I run over, I sneeze in that dude's face, and he gets it. And then I lick the sneeze off of him and take it back, just in time for my golden shower, my green shower from the boss. Now, he, like, never breathes in phase 3. I think I saw him once. So in phase 3, he splits up into 2 different dragons. And I am just trying to pass this buff off as soon as it hits, like, 3 seconds, just over and over again. Our druid is dead, by the way. But we killed this boss, too. So I've killed the second and third bosses. And I totally missed the first. And there are 8 of these fuckers in here. Now, this would be a lot easier if I actually go and upgrade my gear. But this is kind of a problem when it comes to returning to MMOs. It's really hard to care about certain things once you've kind of stopped playing. And Blizzard is aware of this. There are several mechanics of quote-unquote catch-up gear that they put in. There's some kind of vendor that you can upgrade your gear with a new currency called flight stones. It's only certain gear. It's like not my old gear from when I was playing. It's only like the new gear. So most of the gear I'm wearing cannot be upgraded. So I guess I'm probably better off doing normal mode, Alberus raid, and then heroic mode, and then trying to go back into this mega dungeon. So, you know, it's a long path, but, you know, I guess that's what I'm gonna do. But this brings me to one thing. I really wish that World of Warcraft would change. This single change would keep me playing year-round, and that's if the mythic lockout for the mythic raids was the same as the mythic lockout for the mythic mega dungeon. So what does that mean? So in this mega dungeon, I killed 2 bosses with this random group before I had to leave and go do something else because it took 2 hours. Now, in this mega dungeon, I can just go find a new group. Maybe just a group that's on the 5th and 6th bosses, or the 4th through 8th bosses. I could even go in and kill the first boss and then leave and then join another group and kill the 7th boss. I pretty much have all week to just find different groups to do different bosses with. Now in Mythic raiding, you cannot do this. It's the most oppressive system in modern gaming. If this was a Mythic raid, I would be saved to the dungeon that I was, you know, for the group that I was just in. It would be their dungeon. Which means if they get a new tank and they go in and they kill all the rest of the bosses without me, I will only be able to go into that empty dungeon. I won't be able to join someone else's dungeon and see the bosses. I am essentially locked only to that group and nothing. Well, that dungeon, I could get a whole new group if I have the lockout, but then I would essentially clear it for them. Which I actually don't know how that works nowadays. If they took a break and I got a whole new group and I just cleared their whole fucking dungeon, I don't know if they're just completely fucked after that. It's been a long, long time since I raided. In fact, when I stopped raiding hardcore, there wasn't a mythic difficulty. It was just normal and hard mode, 10 and 25, man. So things were very, very different back when I was slaying pussy, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that 0.001% of players would probably abuse this swapping or some shit like that. So if that's the case, I really wish they would maybe keep it locked like that for a month or two until all the little world first people get their little fucking achievement. And then the rest of us can actually, like, pug this content or find replacements for our guilds and substitutes and shit. Solo players exist now in gaming more than ever. You can say this content isn't possible with a pug, but I don't feel like that's true at all. There's also guilds, you know, that, like, recruiting for the bench sucks. There are guilds that are going to be missing a few people in one night and will want to take replacements. Replacements are not going to want to come in and do a few bosses, you know, as substitutes for another guild, because then they're going to be saved to that instance for the whole week. They're not going to be able to go in and clear the rest of it themselves, and it puts them really behind. But anyways, that's what I've been doing in World of Warcraft. I'm going to try to kill the rest of these bosses, you know? I'm going to work on this Lightstone shit, you know? Upgrade my gear and try to get this fucking sweet mount. Holy shit, do you guys see this? Damn, look at this guy. Look at this fucking badass, bro. Oh god, I want that so bad. But I also did a time rift. I think I'm just gonna make a separate video for the time rift because this video is long enough. So I'll see you guys in the fucking time rift. Let's go back and fuck Illidan. I mean, stop Illidan from fucking Tyrande. Yeah! Alright, catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.